You said if your dad wasn't rich, you'll never be rich.
Which is true in 99.9% of cases.
Hold on. I'm going to start this episode or this conversation off with what I'm going to review, yeah, is if your dad weren't rich, you wouldn't be rich. That's why you clicked on it. Because most of us want to be rich. So let's hear about what some of the specialists has been talking about on a podcast. Why I say this guy's a specialist, his name's Gary Stevenson. And if you know about him, you know he used to work in the city, yeah? So long story about him, but let's hear what he says, and I'm going to give my points.
You said if your dad wasn't rich, you'll never be rich.
Which is true in 99.9% of cases. I've never told people don't work hard.
That's actually not true in 99% of cases.
I've never told people don't work hard, okay? And listen, if you think that Ugandans should be more entrepreneurial, I've never been to Uganda, maybe that's the problem out there, maybe that's the problem in Nigeria, maybe that's the problem in India. Listen, I've never said don't work hard, okay? Last year, I was at some event and I come out, I was drinking London Bridge, and I come out late, it was like 1 a.m. And some guy come up to me when I was unlocking my bike, some guy from Newcastle, which is the northeast of England. It's quite a poor town, there's a lot of working class people there. He said, I've been watching you on YouTube, and I love your stuff. And this guy started crying. On the street, right, in front of me. He's like, I work so hard, Gary, I work 2 jobs. My mum's sick and I'm trying to help, I'm trying to support, and I don't understand why. And I'm sorry that I'm crying, but nobody ever told me that it wasn't my fault before. That's what he said to me, okay? And listen, I believe 100% aspiration, ambition, entrepreneurial spirit. I would never see a kid that has that and say, turn it off, okay? But the flip side of if you just work hard enough, you can make it, is if you didn't make it, it's because you didn't work hard enough and it's your fault. And I would like you to sit and think very hard before you send that message to young men and young women in our society.
Meritocracy doesn't mean that everyone ends up with the same result. Here's what I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to achieve the people who have ambition, who can go for it, are incentivized to do it and incentivized to build jobs and build companies.
And what about the ones that just want to work hard and have a good family and take care of them and have a home and be able to turn the heating on and be able to have financial security?
They need to work for a business, don't they?
They need to work for you?
Well, they would need to work for a business, some business, okay, right? If someone doesn't create that business, then where do they work for? We now have 11% of working age people are now declared too sick to work. Right, we have a huge problem in the UK. We also have 25% of people who are working age don't work. It's 1 in 7 men don't work at all.
Do you think they're lazy, Dan?
I think the system is collapsing.
Do you think the average British American who's not working is lazy?
What I think is happening is that the technology companies are totally transforming and disrupting everything. And what happened is around the post-war era, we had good jobs. We had, you could work in a local thing. Technology does 3 things. It makes jobs more simple, which makes them replaceable. It makes jobs global, where you can move them to anywhere else. And then ultimately it automates the job altogether and gets rid of it through code and software. And what's really going on in the last, especially 5 years since the pandemic, is technology has decimated the existing systems that we all relied upon when we grew up. And when I say the education system isn't really working, it's still pretending that there are office jobs available for people when they graduate. And it's still pretending that there's like 1950s scenarios available when actually my kids are going to be disrupted by AI. Everyone's kids are going to be disrupted by AI. You know, these sorts of things are the things that really we also need to be talking about. You said if your dad wasn't rich, you'll never be rich.
So let's start with that saying, if your dad wasn't rich, you'll never be rich. Is it true or false? Do you know what? I've met many people whose dads, they are well off, as some might call them rich, and they'll be all right in society. They don't really need to work, and so, but it's what they do. Is it messing up our society? Most definitely. Me personally, as someone who's a skilled tradesperson, yeah, I oftenly have to lie to people about my qualifications or lie to people about like where I've been, just because if they understand I'm a plumbing lecturer, I do this and I'm a plumber and I have a plumbing business, they're less likely to employ me because they say I've got too much stuff going on, but I still need an opportunity just like someone else. It's just that you have a lot of things going on and it's the way you're balancing things, right? But this point of trying hard, yeah, until you succeed, and if you don't succeed, it's your fault because you didn't try hard enough. I think that mental stress upon everybody, is here, and it's always lingering. I think people have seen of lately how jobs are. It's hard to find a job. Even within a trade, it's hard to find a job. You know, like speaking to people who maybe you don't want to speak to by going to an agency to find a job. It's like, that's not security, innit? And I think most people would realize that in their 30s, that is not security. You know, week to week to week, worrying and thinking, oh, did I do enough? Did I make sure I done this? Did I say, please, thank you? Did I, you know what I mean? Did I hand out cucumber sandwiches at lunchtime? You know, all of these types of things, I think is something which definitely plays on a lot of people's mind, because I think we are all searching just to be rich so we can stop all this stuff and be in this rat race of life and be worrying about the next bill which comes through the door, or worrying about someone calling you, asking you for money. You know, it's an everyday occurrence now, but I think it's slowly but surely breaking some of a lot of us. That's why, you know, they can come up with the statistics and say a certain percentage of men are not working, or a certain percentage of people are not working. They say quite a lot of people has less than £1,000 in their bank as savings, yeah? Which, you know, like, drastic times call for drastic measures, but I say to everyone, try not to be living in your overdraft, because once you start getting there, yeah, it's a slippery road to try and to get to anywhere else. And people giving people a break, that is non-existent right now. People are hard up on it. You know, like if someone says to me, do you want to work Saturday? I'm going to say yes, just because, even if I'm tired, just because, you know what, the extra money is necessary. Like, the bills are knocking on everybody's door, period. So people want things done for cheaper, even as tradespeople have started to realize that. There's less little private jobs. People are shifting over and going to, if they are going to do a job, they're shifting over and telling people, oh, I'm going to go to Trek a Trader and find a tradesperson through that, because I can't be getting bumped and I can't afford to lose this money, which I need for this. I can see it all spiraling and happening. I'm sure a lot of you guys can see it happening in real time as well for your own industry, knowing to see that a lot of other people are seeking other opportunities. You know, I find a lot of people at the beginning of the year was thinking about leaving and going to a different country to see if they can, you know, re-salvage life or make life a lot better for themselves, innit? Which a few people have done. And I think online you see a lot more stories of people saying that, you know what, I had to go from England. I got a job in Dubai, or I got a job over there. And you know what? Right now, because there's not better options on the plate, we will start to look at more other options like that, like working abroad and stuff like that. Because again, what are we missing here? We're getting taxed a lot of money. People are not really getting the wages what they need to be getting. And it's just making people depressed at the end of the day, isn't it? I think it's going to be, well, this is the cause of, like, you know, things which happen in the media and stuff like that. Shout out to people watching from Australia. Big you up. I just see them in the chat. So this conversation was interesting to me because, again, Stephen is someone who, let me tell you his surname. Stephen. Sorry, his name isn't Stephen. It was with Stephen Bartlett. It was on his podcast. His name is Gary. Sorry, Gary. And the other person speaking was Daniel. I think a lot of people are going to check that podcast out because Gary is quite a normal person, right? It does normal stuff, just like you and I and everybody else. And I think that it definitely has an impact on what he's saying with, like, you know, wealth leaving the country and stuff like that. Anytime a lot of people who are wealthy leave the country, other people are going to feel the brunt of it for the tax and stuff like that. It's just a knock-on effect, which I think we don't really understand. And I think it starts to impact all industries, especially construction, especially within plumbing. There's definitely less work. popping up, and the people who are getting the work normally, they keep on getting the same residual type of work. But that's what all of the small tradespeople need to be able to stay afloat. And I think we will start to see people struggling. You know, like I've decided to make a beeline just for consistency instead of chasing like bigger and bigger jobs, because that takes time, innit? And I think anyone who knows, who's trying to build a plumbing company, yeah, it takes time to be able to get the right type of contacts, what you want, to be able to get the right type of leads for the right type of jobs. You know, the job can make you or break you. You can lose money in it or you can make money on it. And at the moment where things are so up and down, yeah, I just look for a stable route instead of a route which is going to boost me out into some type of super bank balance. Don't get me wrong, I'm here as a plumber to make money, but I've understood that a lot of my other skills, which I can do, which they're important to all of us. You know, if you've got another skill, I'm really trying to take my content creating quite seriously. So my YouTube page as well, in particular. Like, and I appreciate the people that come on to listen to hear me speak about something which I might feel, which might affect a lot of people, which is, if your dad was rich, yeah, you could be rich, basically. And if your dad's not rich, you're not going to be rich. That was the conversation starter. And I wanted people to understand how serious that is in life, innit? You know, like you got more of, definitely got more of a chance when your dad is rich and you have got that, you know, wealth, education, all of that all of that stuff is necessary to get you a good starting block off the blocks. Because we do courses and we get into education to be able to educate ourselves so we can get better jobs. But if there's no better jobs out there in the first place, the point of the education is kind of backwards as well, because it's not making us stand out from each other and be able to push our business or whatever we're doing in a different way. You know, I think at the moment, it's just been hard since, like, I would say since December. It's been hard. It's not been as regular as it used to be, but no one can like look at these things and say, oh, they're coming. But unless you're expert who actually follows this type of industry, I'm a person who's just kind of like open to it, and I've seen it happening. And I said it a long time ago, is construction dead? And I made a video about it because I thought the construction industry in a whole year was just definitely starting to like slow right down in pace and momentum. Jobs which were coming up weren't coming up so frequently. The wages weren't getting higher. They were getting kind of like, they were staying at the same rate. So sometimes changing what I'm doing in a whole is actually helping me, because it's more consistent work instead of getting a large sum of money and waiting. So I think the market has been crashing, but I definitely think I've been looking at a place like Canada. Actually, Canada is one of those places which I would actually look at to move myself, to see if there's more opportunities there. I feel it might be better. I don't know. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but Canada, especially if you're a UK citizen, it might be somewhere where you can go and possibly earn a little bit more than you was earning over here. And Dubai keeps on coming up quite a lot. I feel that Dubai's got quite a lot of packages when it comes to people in their 30s and stuff like that, who maybe you're looking to have a child, or you've got a child and they can sort out child care. They can sort out a lot of other things for you, which actually level it out than being out in the UK. But I always said to myself, if you can make it in the UK, you can make it anywhere. So if you can make it in London, you can make it anywhere. But I don't know if that's so much of a true fact now, because I've been trying, just like a lot of other people have been trying, to be able to make themselves successful. Whether you're doing the right things or whether you're going as hard as you can, yeah, that's like a question to yourself. And I feel that a lot of people feel the pressure of that. The pressure of just trying to be someone now in 2025 is not a joke. Like, you want to dot all the I's and cross all the T's, but you can't always get it right, because there are other people who are there before you, or people who have got just a lot more experience in trying to do what you're doing as well, but they're just in front of you. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know, there must be a method or a way or some type of way out, because a lot of people need some type of guidance on these subjects, especially me, myself, at the end of the day. I try and study my market and try and say, do you know what? People are not really asking for plumbing jobs right now. Do you know what? People are not doing this like they was most frequently doing this, because I might keep a little spreadsheet of some jobs, what I've done. And I know how much jobs I've done at times, innit? So when I look at it now, it's starting to look a bit bleaker than what it was looking before. But I've understood that me maybe concentrate on my content creating and building my channel is building a little bit of a community for me, but giving me more stuff to do within that time. But it doesn't compensate for the money and the things which you can do with the money. You know, everybody wants to go on holiday. They want to live life. They want to get a mortgage. They want to get a house. And that process is super slowed down just because of the economy, and money is not being spent like it was being spent before. I think we've all got to be honest with ourselves and say that it's not like how it was before. But what do we do? Do you know what I mean? What do you do? What's the next move? You know, is it to be able to skill yourself up more with brand new skills to skill yourself up more for brand new skills, or become more aware of what's going to happen in the future, like AI and stuff like that? Are you going to get into computer software and stuff like that, which is going to be more prominent than like apprenticeships and stuff like that? I think in England we're on the days of like are numbered to do with apprenticeships, apprentice and all that, because companies are not making the money like they were making the money. I'll just be honest. I don't need to lie about that. I don't think anybody's spending the money like the way they used to, and companies are not making it how they used to. So the workload for a lot of people, especially tradespeople, is definitely going to get a lot heavier, but they're going to employ less people, innit, to be able to balance it out. That's the only way how business starts to balance it out on you, instead of you making more money. It's just going to be like a lot more workload for you. So I definitely feel that we're on some stressful times when it comes to understanding like what's going on for the future. But I'm here for it. And sometimes you can listen to some cool people, like I wouldn't say, yeah, you can listen to some cool podcasts where they can have an insight into what goes on in our economy and how to possibly save your money. That's a good thing, what someone said in the chat. Saving your money is unnecessary in the UK, of course, but with the cost of a lot of things in the UK, saving your money is unlikely. Like they said, I read it in a comment, and they said like people who are 30, a lot of people who are 30, yeah, they have less than £1,000 saved. Less than £1,000 saved. And that's like, you know, like we all got bills in it, and right now the bills are hitting people faster than you're going to be making the money. Saving is very important, but who's going to teach you how to save? You need to teach yourself how to save. That's the number one key. Whether you put away £10 a week, whether you start doing, me personally, I'm going to start practicing doing the partner, which is something they do in the black community, to be able to, so I put in half a hand, which is £20, or I put in a full hand, which is £40. But saving £40, maybe £60 every single week, and making sure that you put it into an envelope, put it into an envelope, put it into envelope, you don't open them, and you keep them going. Maybe to about, I think it's about 32 weeks, depends on how much people was in the partner at the time. I hope I'm explaining it correctly. My black brother. Yes, of course I know about the partner. Yeah, I'm down with all that stuff. I think that's where we first started to learn about saving, and that's where it's going to go back to, which is saving your money is definitely the key in all of these conversations right now. Whether you're rich or whether you're not, I think you should definitely save your money and invest within it well. Like I said it some time ago, you know, like what I will be investing my money in right now is gold. I'll be buying gold. That's the one thing I will be buying for sure. because I feel that that's like a commodity what definitely goes up and has a strong value when it comes to being in England. Like, you know, you could save your money till you get to a certain point. When you got 15 or you got 20 grand, it's not a lot for you to, you can't invest it in some property or something. It's not enough, innit? So you need to invest it and break it down in other little bits, but make sure you still have some for yourself. So I thought when I get to that point, again, I'm going to invest in some gold, but also have some money as well, because you need to pay for stuff, and just look at different ways how I can maximize what I'm doing, because the skills, what you pick up now, like the skill what I picked up now, which was just to do social media, just to get online, start talking to some people. It was something which I did in like my spare time. Do you get it? But now it's become more of a hobby for me, and interacting with people all over on the internet has opened my eyes, but also allowed me to say, do you know what? This is something we could do upon the side as like a full-time thing, because I feel that enough people start to show up for the conversations and they see some of the value which I'm adding, but also what you're adding as well, because without you guys coming in the chat, even right now, it's quite boring because I'm just talking to myself. But I realized that making sure that I have something sensible to come on and deliver to the community is important. So you make your money, save your money, invest your money into some gold, and we're going to start moving from there, because I feel that gold is definitely something which is always going to be valuable. You know what I mean? If you look at the price of gold compared to what it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, it's going up, it's going up. I know that because I check it myself. And it's just something which I've always thought to myself, I need to start doing. Because you say things in life, yeah, but it's about taking the steps to doing them, innit? Like taking the steps to be able to save yourself £60 a week, taking yourself a step to be able to say to yourself, when I get £1,500, I can buy half an ounce of gold. So I think it's roughly about that price for half an ounce. Don't quote me. You should look it up yourself. But once you start to look it up, you'll understand what you can invest in and what you can't invest in, right? So start with your piggy bank, man. We need to take it back to these points with saving your money and not spending money excessively on things which you don't need. We all do it, innit? Like I do it sometimes. I bought 2 cookies today and I didn't need them because I only needed one. But I thought to myself, why am I going to let that Boschetti cookie go in the window? I'm going to have it. It's going to be lovely later. I'm thinking about it now. Anyway, but I do think that for us in society, working class people, because I'm working class, my parents are working class as well. It's worrying now about how can we be successful. Like it's a reach right now, like in life, because most of us want it really bad. Most of us are probably going to be really like thankful if that opportunity ever happened to us, because we would think that it wouldn't happen to people like ourselves, innit? But keep working. I would definitely say be yourself, dream big, and the sky is always the limit with these things. You know, like I've met people who I know that can make me loads and loads of money through work, and it's how I choose to connect my ideas up with them to be able to make something which is solid. Do you get it? But you've got to take little risks out there so you can possibly see if it's doable for you, because I think it's doable for a lot of us, but we're afraid of what others might say. We're afraid of failure as well. A lot of people are afraid of failure. Me too. I was afraid of failure by putting myself out there. What if people didn't like me? What if people thought this? What if they thought that? You know what? We got to give it a go. I think most of us owe it to ourselves. And me personally, I said to myself, I'm going to try my hardest when I'm in my 30s, because I'm going to probably learn the most lessons. And that's when I'm going to have the most amount of energy to be able to put into myself or my ideas. I was already passionate about it, but now I need to move like I'm on a mission. That's the whole thing. Like most of us move like we're on a mission, but it's not full time every single day. We get depleted. Like I get depleted. Not every day I want to jump on and do a video because I want to give all my energy when I do videos. I understand how impactful that is for when I put a video together, when I tell people, yeah, you know what? I've tried. People have knocked me down, but I keep going, or I keep getting wiser for a next situation, which we all understand, you know, like we all understand that we're all learning here and reaching for something which we're not at a point now. It can be stressful. It can be a lot of things, man. It can be depressing. That's the truth. But if it's meant for you, it's meant for you, and you can make it happen. Because how many stories do we hear in life where people have turned around their life totally? I used to do this, I used to do that, but now I do this. That could be anybody. That could be someone listening to it. And I hope this is someone who listens to this, that can be you. Because I always thought to myself, I want a company. I want to be the boss. I want to be able to manage things. I want to be able to grow. I want people to be able to experience the things what I experience when I'm doing them. So that's why I started really my journey of no filter on YouTube. Do you get it? Like I've showed you the difficulty things what I've overcome. And I'm sure that many of you lot who watch my videos, you can overcome so many different things in life. You can get past the fact that your dad ain't rich, because my dad ain't rich, but I've always said to myself, I'm going to be rich. Not because I want to be in the rich club. No, because I've got a family who I want to have generational wealth. I feel that my family deserve it. I feel that your family deserve it who you're watching. They deserve for you to make the best of yourselves. Like, I know that not all of us have got perfect role models, people around us who are going to talk sense to us, people that are going to motivate you and be happier than you are for your own achievements. Not all of us have got those types of people, but I have got those types of people in life. And they're so impactful to me. Like, yes, I understand the things which are going on. I hear the things which are going on. But again, I realize my position and I play my position. But I don't always play it so I'm played out. I play it so I'm played in the scene. That's what you got to understand. All of this stuff is so you can get in the scene. But you got to make plans. I've said this to people so many times. You see, when I never made a plan of action, like what I'm going to do to get from this point to that point, I was lost. I was doing the same things as other people, doing that, doing this, is this working? Is that going to work? No, it's not going to work. Focus. Knuckle down. Like, I know it's a lot of people's, it's their plan just to own a house. But you see, like sometimes owning a house right now in this current climate, yeah, brutal. You got to have your money there, comes in. And I'm just a person that never really wanted to struggle in life. I never really wanted to struggle because I was willing to do most things for work and most things for a pound note. Yeah, that's the truth. So you doing that, I put a lot of pride aside and do things which people probably think I don't even do. Definitely, I'll do that. I'll definitely do a day's work there because I need the money, because the money, what I get from that, I can invest in something else. The money, what I get from this, I can invest in this. I took a gamble by investing and getting like a setup so I can go online. I could have spent that money somewhere else. But I thought to myself, nah, this is the future, man. This is how we're going to connect with different people. And it's starting to come together. It doesn't happen overnight. You know, I can tell you about the amount of times when I wanted to quit all of this stuff. Enough times. But there's someone in your corner, yeah? Like your friend, your partner, like my girlfriend, for example, says, nah, you can't do that. Look how far you've come. Look at the things what you've done. Like, pinch yourself. You can do this, you know. I tell myself that all the time. When it gets hard, I ain't gonna get going. I'm gonna dig deep. And if you stick around to like watch this video to hear that main message, if your father ain't rich or your dad ain't rich, you ain't gonna be rich. Nah, stick at it, dig deep. Like, lock in. That's what it's called nowadays. Lock in. Lock in and get on to your goal. There is nobody that's going to help you get there. But when you start getting there, people are they're going to feel the energy. You see, for me, they feel the energy. I'm not playing at all. I hope you lot can do the same. And I hope that everybody who watches this video, they appreciate the time which we have now to be having as a little bit of a reflection when it comes to yourself, because my life is not the same as yours. Comes with bare difficulties, all of us do, but we understand how we get over some things. Never put all your eggs in one basket. It's not that time. It's that time to start utilizing your time, whichever time you have got, to invest back within yourself. All the time of me going to college, all the time of me teaching, all the time of me learning things, standing over someone's shoulder as a plumber, looking at what they're doing. It's made me sharp. You can be sharp too, man. Everything what everybody else does, you've got the ability to do it. Trust me. Get in a routine. A routine, a plan. Get yourself a vision board. That's the next thing I'm getting for myself. You probably see it over there soon with things on it, what I want to do, what I want to achieve. I'm going to keep them there until I tick them off. And I'm going to make videos in the same spot so you can see. I might give that podcast a watch as well because it sounded interesting. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Stephen Bartlett. That's the truth. But yeah, wrapping this one up, people, man. Stay focused, man. Stay focused. That's all I got to say. And subscribe. Subscribe. Give this video a little like up, and we'll get to it.